Welcome to episode number 9. We have complete. They say that when you're making pancakes that you mess one up. We didn't mess our first one up. I don't remember. Maybe we did, but we did mess up our 9th one, and we recorded, and then we're now re-recording, and so we'll have to see if we think I look so short and small. Let me see if I can fix my camera here. Do you see my Breckenridge vintage hat? Check it out.
That's a pretty cool hat.
I've never been.
What Breckenridge is, but
it's a ski resort. I've never been skiing. I saw the hat and I was like, this is a pretty sweet hat. Okay, what does ChatGPT say? What's the?
Well, if I could get it to work.
You gotta do it on your phone, bro. All right, while you're looking at it, I'll type it in.
Well, I was trying to log in because I have an account, but it won't let me log in.
What should we name our podcast about selling on Walmart and Amazon with the arbitrage model?
Oh, that's so much easier on your phone. Jesus.
Also, we are very handsome. Oh, I said also we are very Okay, that's weird.
We're very
hand-on hustle.
Hey,
it up.
nothing wrong with that. The Ecom Sellers Podcast. There's probably not somebody named that, right?
There's got to be somebody say that. Like the reason I think we might should change it is because I saw somebody's advertisement for, I guess, their coaching or something, and it was like the Walmart seller something XYZ something. I don't know. I don't want to advertise for them, but I was like, maybe we should like the James and Cody podcast. We just talk
James
about
and Cody show.
Yeah, whatever the heck we want to talk about. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Well,
right, it'll let us niche out a little, or not be so niche too.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, out of all of the people interested in selling on the internet, we have to go and find the ones with some interest in selling on Walmart, which is, gotta be, that's like a, okay, ChatGPT, I'm just going to throw them out here. Retail Arbitrage Radio. I kind of like that. Walmart and Amazon Hustle, Arbitrage Empire, Buy Low, Sell High Show, Arbitrage Blueprint, Cart to Cash, Shelf to Sold, The Flip Side Podcast, Scan and Sell, Barcode to Bank. I don't know.
We can't do Buy Low, Sell High, because that would Buy Low, Sell Heinz.
Yeah.
You can't steal his name.
That's his name. Out of those, the one I like the most, Retail Arbitrage Radio. I mean, this is not staged at all. We just typed this in our ChatGPT, but we could call it the RAR show, like Reptar. You see where I'm going?
Yeah, I hear that. That's cool.
Okay, all right. I say we let's.
So I did a similar prompts. So we have flip margin, the arbitrage edge, profit loop, weird, buy low, sell pod. So
okay.
Buy low, comma, sell.
If somebody talks about their podcast and they call it, let's get on a pod, bro. I kind of judge them a little bit. I kind of.
Yeah. Resell radar, the margin hustle, not bad.
Resell radar, I like that.
Yeah, retail to riches. I feel like somebody has that as a YouTube name.
Yeah, it gotta be.
I like this one, scan and flip. Not bad. Arbitrage Nation, I think somebody has that as well. And the ROI report.
Oh, I like that too.
Yeah, that's not bad.
What if we did, what was the one I said? Can we put ROI in there? Retail Arbitrage Radio. Let's see. ROI
Radio. Yeah, we both thought of it.
ROI RA. No, let's see. What was that spell? Roira. That's kind of fun. Okay, now I don't know. All right, let's move on. Cool. We just lost everybody. Nobody's listening,
guys. That's fine. Whatever. Our 25 subscribers, we appreciate you. So our last recording, we were talking about our numbers and how our month went. So let's recap. Cody, how was your month last month?
So April was a down month for us, for sure. And I've seen your numbers and talked about them already. So I'll kind of blip past our. We were profitable on all platforms, and I pulled up our retail store sales. We did like $2,700 in in-person sales, and that's not including any cash, which we did not receive. That's a joke. That's a tax evasion joke. I pay all my taxes. But anyways,
wink, wink.
Yeah, but yeah. So I was freaking pumped about that. Like the store was great. Walmart, we did okay. It was like I said, down. I think we actually may have done more on Amazon than we did Walmart. So that's kind of
That's
sad.
not surprising though, especially with your recent issue with Walmart. Like,
Yeah,
you're feeling a little more secure in the Amazon side right now.
yeah, we've definitely pushed. Well, what it is, you find something, you list it on both, and Amazon just sells faster, and so when you replan it, it just makes sense to just keep them moving on Amazon. We've had several like that with some of the stuff we've been flipping from the group. That was
a lot of the popular content stuff right now too just seems to push really fast on Amazon. So,
do you see less competition right now? Does it feel like that to you?
yes.
Yeah, like on some of the listings for the popular content that you mentioned, I don't know how many people watch this. So,
Read between the lines.
Yeah, but on some of those, I found no seller listings several times, and I found some with like 10 people on it, and it's like at Walmart. It's like normally the stuff at Walmart that's like kind of well known, that's probably at every Walmart, is just you're the 70 or 80 sellers, and you just kind of have to live with that. It's felt different, and I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's maybe it's just stuff that I'm finding in my area, but it feels like maybe enough people have jumped off the boat.
People are scared right now.
Yeah, for the moment.
Between Section 3, between gating, between government and political current popular issues.
Sure.
Not to say the word, but I think people are scared. I think a lot of people are pulling out. I think a lot of people pulled out of Amazon into Walmart, right? So I see a little disparity even now on Walmart, where Walmart's sometimes a little lower than Amazon on the popular content.
I've seen that for sure. Yeah, I've seen that.
So the combination, myself, the last 3 weeks, not last week, but the 2 weeks before, our shipments were a little light. It was harder to find stuff, just regular price stuff that we sell every week. We had a decent amount of that stuff, but the clearance wasn't there.
Yeah.
Sale products weren't there. It's looking a little dry, but last week we had, a normal, I think we sent 702 units on Friday.
Sheesh. So. Hashtag rich fans. That's awesome.
I wish.
Yeah, that's like a lot more than what I did. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't send in any. I sent in 0.
Yeah.
But
from the guy not doing WFS.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but as far as like even just news, like we didn't buy that. Like we didn't buy anywhere near that. Anyways, that doesn't matter. But I think Walmart and Target and places like that are holding on to some of the clearance stuff. I think they're scared that going into
shelves
Q4
is bad business.
Yeah, it's not. Empty shelves are terrible for retail. So I think I think they're scared about what might happen with tariffs and all the different stuff, good or bad, hate them, love them, whatever. They're there, and maybe Target says, hey, we'll hold on to this stuff a little bit longer than normal to see if
I'm seeing like a 3-week markdown cycle instead of like weekly.
Yeah, I saw it on one of the coupon pages that they had a picture of one of their followers worked at Target, and it was just like an entire room of carts filled back with like seasonal stuff and like normal clearance looking stuff, and they didn't push it out the way they normally do. So maybe that's a problem for RA, but also on the other side of that, if you're an arbitrage seller, it's in my opinion, I think it's going to be a good thing. It's terrible. It could be really terrible for the average consumer that wants to buy stuff at regular price. Mm-hmm. They can't find it, blah, blah, blah. But
or buy it for, pennies on the dollar. Like, not to turn this one into a political one, but with Temu stopping inbound to USA, right? That creates opportunity and forces consumers to buy at a higher price, right? So there's a good chance that the people who might be in white label, private label, whatever, who have stock on hand, potentially USA made or, not China made goods, will see a bump in sales even.
I could see that. I think, sorry, my wife's walking through here.
You're good.
Hey, wife. Sorry, I got distracted. She's so beautiful. Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen exactly, but I know rich people are going to want the specific G.I. Joe that their kid wants, and they're going to want the specific flavor of Frappuccino, K-Cup, or whatever, and, that's not going to change. And
yeah, I agree.
As it stands, maybe it gets a little bit harder to source, but honestly, I could see it go either way. Like, it could be a bad thing, could be a good thing. I think people sourcing might feel what you're feeling, and they're like, "There's nothing out here; it's dry." And I think some people will say, "It's too hard now. RA is dead," and I'm gonna go and I loved your title.
You can say RAs are dead, man. I will eat that.
I loved your title. You said FBA is dead. It's in the title of the. We're gonna get somebody's gonna talk crap about that for sure.
Good.
Yeah, but no, I think there could be less people. I think people are scared to spend money, which whenever your competition is scared to spend money in a cash flow, inventory flow business like ours, that's a great thing if you're willing to spend money. And then I think the other thing, the people who stay, I think they might be intimidated by, you got to go to 2 to 3 more stores for RA, or you have to search 2 to 3 more hours for OA to find, the buyable inventory that just, that was a little bit easier. And when it gets a little bit harder, there's a little bit less competition. So I think it could be, could be good.
That's why I even with the gating stuff, right? Like I can't sell half of what I used to on Amazon, but I'm still pretty.
Don't get me started.
I am still wide open though in toys, because toys has always been my category, right?
Yeah.
So it seems like they notice kind of like what category you're in, and that's where they leave you open, mostly, at least for us in our experience. So I'm seeing a little less people than you typically would. Well, you mentioned this already, right? You're seeing less people on stuff that would be like, why aren't you buying this?
Maybe that's it. Could it be is gating the reason that because I've noticed that a couple times looking at leads, looking through something like this, kind of seems like more people would have jumped on it. Maybe I get gated in weird stuff, like I got gated in Warner Brothers, like anything Warner Brothers. Just like a random weird out of the blue. I got gated in a couple of the toy brands, but I never really sold them either. I got gated in one grocery brand that really just hurt my feelings. Same. And that was a hard one. But some of the big toy brands that other people got gated in, like my good friend Anthony, that lives here in Atlanta, that he works with us sometimes, he got gated on a big toy brand, and I didn't. And so I agree. It was kind of, it's either random or it's super not random, and it's like targeted, and I don't know. But that could be the reason. It's like in the franchise Hunger Games, all of a sudden, there's just this new crazy thing happening, and everybody has to adjust or get murdered, and that's exactly how I would describe selling on Amazon right now.
I did the thing where I stacked cash, right? For 2.5 years, we didn't pay ourselves. We just took our initial money out. We put in a total of $3,000 between two people to start our business, right?
It's amazing.
Yeah. So the first year we pulled our $1,500 out. The second year we just stacked cash, and somewhat in the third year we actually started paying ourselves. Paying yourselves is hard because you want to buy inventory. I agree. Don't quit your job too early. I didn't quit my job until like 5 years in. So I had paid off all my debts. I stacked a load of cash. The business had a stack of cash. I completely agree with that. You want to be safe. The issue is people get stuck in the whole the rush, right, of the flip. You know, you buy low, sell really high, right?
Yep.
That doesn't happen every day. Clearance is cyclical, so is buying inventory, so is finding that killer deal. And people don't understand that until they've done it for a while. They don't know the cycle until they've done it for a while. So if you're just like quitting your job right away and you're just starting, you don't know that. I was so unprepared for the first couple of Q4s because I had no idea what I was doing. And it comes with time. Working that job keeps you safe, keeps your family fed, keeps your roof over your head. And eventually, once you understand, you know, the cycle of everything and you understand the numbers, you understand how to run all of that and be effective and efficient with your time, that because you don't have a lot of time when you're working a 9 to 5. You got tons of other stuff to do, right? Then you can quit your job, pay off your debt, run on cash if you can. We run on credit, we do all right, but we have a cash reserve that we build, pay off the card in full as soon as the thing hits. So like we're a credit on cash kind of situation.
That's still cash. In my mind, that's cash.
Yeah.
If you have cash to cover your leverage,
extra.
it's cash. Yeah.
Our rent is in a separate bank account. It's covered for the year. Like we're kosher, right?
Yeah.
Once you do that, then you can feel better about yourself. Feel better
Totally
about your
agree.
business. Operate without so much stress. Don't over leverage, all that. Cool. So that was my 2 cents on that whole thing. Now we want to get from 10 to 30. What we did is we needed more time to buy. So that was the thing for us. For the first, until I quit my job, we were only sourcing 1 day a week. And we were hitting, so we'd source all day Saturday for like 12 hours, and then we'd pack it all, ship it all Sunday. And then
That's amazing.
Yeah, crazy times. So we'd, fill the car max, like to the ceiling, to the back of my head, sometimes bags in the lap, we'd buy.
Yep.
Pack, prep, ship it all out. And we were only doing Amazon at the time, right? So we were able to consistently get 30-ish K a month out of that, which is kind of surprising. But to really keep it consistent, you need more time to source. So spreading that out across multiple days, if you're multiple people in your business, so if it's not just you, it's you and your significant other, you and friend, whatever. I don't always recommend going into business with your friends, but people do it.
I couldn't go into business with anybody. Like I can imagine like that's a lot of collaboration. You got to really trust somebody.
It is, and you really do, and especially when there's access to large sums of money.
Right.
Things can go wrong, right? So you need to trust that person. But teaching not one person just sourcing. If you're a 2-person business, 2 people sourcing in 2 separate areas, that effectively doubles the sourcing, right? So that's helped us a lot. So we're 2 people. We source 3 to 4 days a week each. That's 6 to 7 sourcing sessions a week, right? And for us, they're like 4 to 5 hours. We don't go quite as long because we don't need to anymore. So that's really going to help you a lot, as well as having systems for what you need, what you don't need. So I've talked about this before. I don't know if it was in this series of recordings or the ones on Cody's YouTube channel, which you should go check out. I have a buy list sheet that has all of our Walmart SKUs that we're currently filling. I do this once a week after our shipment is sent, so I did it this morning. I go in and I check each SKU against the inventory level of the WFS tab, and it tells you how many you have, how many are inbound, and it's estimated how many days estimated of stock you have. So anything under 50, I try to buy. Anything over 50, I'm not going to buy. And you can set that number for yourself if you just want 30 days. Walmart likes 60 days, 50 days, 50 to 60, right? So you could base it on that, and then I don't know how many lines it's up to. I think we're up to 300 now. What are we at? I have 351 lines of potential replens, and
sheesh.
Yeah, so I'm checking that every week. So what that does is that allows you to be more consistent on when you're filling stuff and refilling stuff. To make sales, you have to be in stock, right? So if you're not in stock, you're not going to make those sales.
Right.
Category branching out too. I'm pretty bad about this. I stick to so much in toys and clearance. Like, that's just a lot of what our catalog is. So you need to branch out into other categories. There's a whole store at your disposal when you walk in. Spend some time and go to a different category. Just scan some stuff.
Totally agree with that. Yeah, I found like there are entire sections of the store that I found myself never looking at. Like, for the longest time, I didn't shop pets at all. And then a person that I storefront stock the hell out of them. That's what I do. Anyways, I noticed that they had a good bit of pet stuff regularly, coming in, and it's like, well, maybe I should pay some attention to that in the store. And then, lo and behold, you start to find, some stuff. There's some stuff there to buy. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I had a solid replen in pets. I sold maybe like 7,000 units in the year. Like, it was crazy. We were
That's
literally
awesome.
Clearing the shelf every
sure.
store we'd go into. Then we got a cease and desist letter, and risk.
Yeah.
We waited till the third one, and then we stopped.
I think that some people never have to quit their job.
Oh, absolutely.
I think there are people in the group that are like some of the best members, and people that I've did consulting calls with, like, ongoing, they work a job and they love their job. And so, I think when should you quit your job? I think it doesn't have to be a prerequisite that you're gonna do that. If you love what you do, you could do this. So I think my first thought would be, if you love selling insurance, or you love being a pet trainer, or whatever it is that you do, just do that. And you can still make a lot of money with this. You're probably not going to do retail arbitrage, unless you train somebody to shop for you, which I've done, and I have somebody now that I work with. It makes sense for them, makes sense for me, and I pay them. I have them on a retainer, and they shop for me everywhere they shop for me too. And that really that's working for. But we kind of got lucky to fall into that arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
But lots of people do. If you go to our call with Sadiq, he said he works like a dozen hours a week. And that dude, I don't know exactly how much he's selling, but it's like a lot. He's a 7-figure seller. Yeah. And so what he's done is leveraged VAs. He has a team of VAs that help him with OA purchasing. He increased his average sell price higher, and then he hired a prep center that can handle the volume, and he just runs it up that way. And he talks about his cost of his hours that he works are super low. And then his cost for softwares and other things are really low, and can
he only buys what he needs, basically.
Yeah, in comparison, he runs really lean, and his time's low because he's hired VA. So I don't think you have to quit your job. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. It just kind of depends on, do you like your job?
Yeah,
big thing, right? I feel
lots of people don't. They hate their job. Yeah.
But that's why I feel like a lot of people get into reselling it, right? Is because they hate their job. So if you like your job, you don't need to quit. But you have to be okay with, especially if you're doing retail arbitrage, it's a whole day to shop.
Yeah,
you got to make your time worth it to be out there in the stores. If you're doing OA, there's a lot of things you can do, right? Like you said, you can leverage VAs. You can leverage lead groups. You can leverage lead lists. Not saying you need to buy exactly what's on the list or in the group, but they're tools for you. Utilizing tactile arbitrage, or what's the Martyr one called? Nepeto, tools like that, right? There, Quick Finds is another one I used a lot. Using tools like that to speed up the process for your OA. But you're still spending time doing that. If you're working part-time, you still need to spend 10-ish hours a week on your business, or you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. Like, the idea that you're going to come in, especially in the beginning, before you have systems built and VAs trained and different things, like, there's just no way you're going to come in and work 5 hours a week and
you
get
can't
anywhere.
train a VA if you don't know what you're doing either,
Right.
right?
You got to learn it first. Yeah, I totally agree.
You got to put the reps in, and find home run leads to teach other people how to find home run leads. If you can't do that, hiring a VA and teach them how to do mediocre leads, you're going to get mediocre leads and potentially poor leads, because
a lot of them.
a lot of them.
Yeah. It's a skill to train people to source, and you just can't train them until you kind of have an idea. I don't even know if I would start, like, I guess when you quit your job, I think when you're ready to like work, like your new job.
It's a job to be self-employed, and people don't understand that, right? And I fell into this trap a little bit when I first started, but I'm a workaholic. I work, like 60 hours a week because
sure,
it's my business. Why wouldn't I, right? It's a job. You have to get up every day and do work. You have to go source. You have to pack orders. You have to do your bills stuff. You have to do your QuickBooks and or taxes and or ignore it until the end of the year. Have to. I know, that's why I said that. I do my QuickBooks every week.
It's amazing.
You have to do these things, and if you're not okay with doing that, doing it full time is not going to be for you.
Yeah, like if you don't like this job, I think a lot of people hate their job. I think they'll hate this job too. Like, once the romanticism kind of, rubs off, like, oh, shoot, I got to go do this. Like, I genuinely like this. Like, even the content side, all that, to the side, like, just buying crap and reselling. Like, I'm so pumped. I found a new thing to sell. And I'm just so excited about it, and I won't go into it just kind of stay focused. But like, I really, really like buying and selling crap, and so it's exciting. Like this is something that I enjoy. Like, I want to do this. But even if it's not the job of going to stores or the job of doing whatever, it's going to be the job of managing somebody that's going to the stores or doing whatever. Like, this is the business you're in. So yeah, when to quit your job? I think you need a savings. I think you need to have a real plan. All that stuff we talked about earlier. Like, you need to be financially literate. Lots of people go into business for themselves, make a bunch of money in air quotes, and then realize that they didn't make any money because they owe taxes on it that they didn't understand. They have debt that they didn't understand, and then on top of that, they have interest that they're paying on the debt that they didn't understand. They didn't factor in returns. They didn't factor in scams. Some percentage of your sales, you're going to be scammed out of the money after the fact, and it's not 0%. It's probably closer to 5%. Like, it's real likely.
The national retail average is 10.
Yeah, like, you're gonna get scammed. Like I was looking through the report on Walmart with how much we've lost in transit, lost after delivery, and this is like the last 90 days or something. And looking at it, it's like, oh, that hurts your feelings because I got scammed. Like, I just completely they poo-pooed on my business, and there's nothing I can do. And so, like, that's gonna happen.
So that FedEx thing you going.
I am never shipping anything with FedEx again. FedEx is fired.
Yeah. But that's the only loss after delivery protection you get for Walmart.
Yeah, so. I guess I should. Yeah, I should maybe reconsider. Anyways, all of those things, I would, if somebody came to me and said, I want to quit my job but I'm not sure, I would tell them, give it 90 days. Yep. Give it 6 months. What's the rush? Like, that's my real answer. Like I'm never going to talk somebody into quitting. Like, that's, it's such a scary, risky thing to tell somebody to quit. Like, I would never tell them to quit their job. But, with that said, I'm not working for a job. Like, I like this life a lot. Like, I like
sleep
this
till I want, man.
Yeah, like, exactly.
But I also
or whenever
work
my
till 2
kids
a.m.,
want.
so.
Yeah. But like, the person who's talking about quitting their job to go be self-employed to do this, like, it's a real specific person. And like, what advice could we give that person to like, we're just gonna talk people out of quitting their job the whole
No,
episode.
it's
like,
no, this is a real thing that people don't talk about. I feel like it's so romanticized, right?
Yeah, totally agree.
Instagram, Facebook Reels, TikTok, whatever. Quitting your job is romanticized to be an entrepreneur, be self-employed, be your own boss, whatever, right? And you definitely need your ducks in a row. And for me, I did say a little bit of this earlier. Pay off as much debt as you can. That stuff's, and even if you don't want to quit your job, just paying off your debt is a great feeling. You should do it anyway. Pay off as much debt as you can. Not to promote Dave Ramsey a lot, but beans and rice and beans. Cut back on life and just like focus that down. Use the business profit, stack some of it, pay off some debt on some of it. Like, it's gonna lift that weight off your shoulder. If you have a family, if you're a homeowner, whatever, at least a year of bare necessity in savings. So what does it take to, and this is for me, this is not for everyone, but this is what would make me feel comfortable doing it again. Figure out how much money you need to live bare necessities just to survive for 1 month. So rent, water, electric, gas, insurance.
I had that number written on my whiteboard. Like I know that number. Yeah.
Good. All of that stuff, health insurance, whatever. Write that down. Multiply it by 12. What's that number? That's your goal savings, in my opinion. Operate your business as lean as you can with as high margins as you can. 10% margin is great. 20% is better. 30%, let's go, right?
Skip the good stuff, buy the great stuff. If I could say one thing, like, trust me on this, the great stuff is out there. Skip the good stuff, buy the great stuff. Sorry, go on.
I have a problem leaving the good stuff, so I still buy the good stuff. But I buy more of the great stuff than good stuff. Because profit's profit, in my opinion, and I utilize WFS a lot, so I'm just going to send it in and then I'm hands off. It's easy for me to do that. So Cody may be looking for 100% ROI on Walmart. I'll take 40%. I'll take 50%.
But neither of us are buying stuff where we're investing, 10%. Like, we don't want 10% stuff.
Yeah,
like,
I leave all that stuff behind.
Yeah.
So stack your cash, pay off your debt, stack some more cash, stack some business cash, figure out how to ethically and correctly evade taxes. You can do that. It's not
hire
that
somebody.
hard. Hire a
somebody.
CPA.
Yep.
Figure out, there's SEP IRAs you can get into. There's health savings
Strategies.
accounts.
It's just strategy. The
So
word
much
is
stuff you can
business
do.
strategy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like everybody makes it like this like crazy thing on Instagram, like I'm an entrepreneur, and it's like being an entrepreneur is just waking up at 4:30 and making content about being an entrepreneur. No, it's like business strategy, like the same crap that Dave Ramsey uses to build his mega corporation, and like he has a whole like ranch that his whole company lives on. Not ranch. That's not whatever it's called.
Compound, basically.
Yeah. Like the whole thing. Like he spends like 7 figures feeding his team. They have like a cafeteria restaurant type thing. Like the way he got there is what you're talking about. Increasing business savings, increasing and not on credit. Like I sorry, I hijacked your thing, but
You're
like
fine.
yeah, like. Exactly what you're saying.
More content, the better. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, but like one thing that I've ran into is like you'll start to get in your head if you don't track stuff and you don't know like what your strategy is, and like tracking like things that matter. And so you're like, I'm such a loser. I'm not making any money. I'm not blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, then you look, your inventory has quadrupled in size and your sales have increased, blah, blah, blah. Your sell-through has increased, and like, you can completely like be down on yourself and everything be great if you don't know those things. And so, on the flip side, you can also think you're doing great and then not be tracking those things and be in trouble. And so, did your business savings increase XYZ time? Like, no, like I track that stuff monthly. I have a list of things that I track, and I just want to know. And like, you can kind of you can see, is it working or isn't it working? Know your numbers, I guess. So
Sorry, in short, know your numbers, right? Yeah. Study the data of your business. If you don't know how to read a profit and loss report, there's content online, you can figure it out. As well as the numbers you need to input. Learning how to do your own books is amazing. It's not that hard, even though Cody won't do it.
Yeah, I don't do my own books yet.
QuickBooks is really easy to figure out. Once you figure it out, half of my transactions auto-populate to and categorize to where they need to go. Especially for I have the Amex Plum card, right? That I'm swiping like crazy. Maybe 5 transactions out of a whole month I have to categorize, because that's sometimes amazing. I buy stuff from Amazon, it's supplies, sometimes it's cost of goods sold, so I just have to.
We should do a whole podcast just on that, because
there's so much you can.
I would benefit from that. Like we're not doing that. Well. If
you want to, I could just teach you how to do that off podcast too, because I could just show you my screen.
Yeah,
but it'd be good for the people too.
Pick you up on that. Yeah,
yeah, for real. Like, it's really no big deal. I don't have a problem sharing that.
But if this sounds like a nightmare to the person listening to this, you're like, I want to quit my job. I want to be self-employed. The whole thing. Like, but this part sounds like a nice nightmare. Like, on one side, like, that's okay. Like, it kind of sounds like a nightmare to everybody. But on the other side, if you're like just not gonna do it, you don't want to manage it, like, it's just not something, like, maybe don't quit your job. Like I don't know. I can't get around this, but like, don't hold on to your job as long as possible. Just
maybe our title should be, maybe you shouldn't quit.
50 minutes of Cody telling you not to quit your job. I don't know.
Yeah. So outline: stack money, pay debt, stack more money, stack some more money. Figure out how to read your numbers. Figure out how to evade taxes logically and ethically, because you can.
Be ready to work a lot more than you think. Like,
for real.
Save more than you think. Be ready to work a lot more.
You need to be willing to put in like 60 to 80 hour weeks, and that's not an exaggeration, especially in the beginning. It breeds a lot of hunger and whatever to be successful and comparing yourself to others and all that jazz. So you just gotta separate some of that. So basically, another thing is, don't compare yourselves to others' orange bars or blue line graphs, I guess we have now. Your numbers aren't going to be the same as somebody else's numbers, but your profit could potentially be better than theirs. Our business profited just as much as somebody doing millions of dollars at 5 to 10% ROI wholesale. So, like, you gotta know your numbers to not compare your numbers, to know that your profit is really good and you can actually pay yourself a livable wage, and dodge taxes.
Yeah, stack money, be ready to work a lot, have a good plan. Like, I have a business plan. Like, I don't. Like, for me, it helps me to like write it out on a piece of paper, and like, cause like I get lost in my head sometimes, and I get kind of down, cause like I'm like, I should be so much further, Also, for anyone who doesn't know, I have 6 children, and my wife stays home and does homeschooling, and like our cost of living is pretty high, and so like that's
coming every month.
Every single month, yeah, and so like that has to be factored into my plan because that's real to me. That's like specific to what I have going on. So have that plan. Maybe you have a certain amount of cash, and your plan is you're gonna spend that as much as possible on retail arbitrage, focused on home runs, not base hits, because that it's not as much as somebody else that's giving content. But you can know that if you have a plan, and then after that, there's other things you can do. You can look for the crazy clearance home runs. I bought something for 4 cents, and I sold it for $150 last week.
I think I know what it is too. Was it a viral product?
Yeah. I couldn't share it with the group, and I hope that nobody in the group watched this and they're like, that guy didn't tell me. But like it was shared with me
on Instagram. If you didn't see it, like
maybe I don't know, but it was shared with me and Tom from someone who watches my area, and they were like, you can't tell anybody about this, but go to your XYZ store and buy this right now. And I did, and I got 6 of them, and I've sold 2 of them, and I bought it for 4 cents and sold it for $150, and that's not an exaggeration at all. That was an incredible, crazy home run, like grand slam home run. So maybe your plan is you're gonna learn to navigate those. When they hit, is amazing. Maybe
so you DM on Instagram. I want to know if I'm right.
Okay, hold on. All right. This is fun. All right, everybody listening, screw you. We're not telling you, Jack. Okay, I don't see it. You sent it on Instagram?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
Discord.
Discord. Okay, all right. Well, everybody,
I don't really use Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. They were viral on Instagram. Like, everyone was
pretty,
posting them. Yep.
Pretty nice. Yeah. I can't share it. You're your own man, so you do what you want. But anyways,
I'm not gonna. That'll dox you. I'm not doing that.
So, anyways, you maybe your plan is once you get to that point, like you can still make money with no money. Like your plan, if you don't need $10,000 a month in salary, like some people do. With 6 kids and a mortgage. If you don't need that much, maybe your plan is you're going to Uber on the weekends and just do gig work so you don't have to go to real work, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe your plan is you're going to do used books. You could scale used books. I buy used books. Like you could scale if you have time but not money, you can buy books for 50 cents. In the last week, I've bought books for 50 cents. I've sold books for $20, $30. It's a decent way to make money, but I guess my point is stack money, be ready to work more than you think, and then have a viable plan, like something that can actually work. That would be my
and it's a certain type of person who can actually successfully work for themselves.
Yeah. Long term.
Yeah. Long term.
Anybody can quit their job and do it for 6 months and run up a bunch of debt, or do it, but like creating like an actual business with systems and like doing everything.
Warehouse space, and it's expensive to do this business. People don't realize it. You could do it out of your house for a long time.
Yeah.
There's a point where you just gotta move up.
Yeah, my brain's all over the place, so I've probably been kind of back and forth this podcast.
As long as we can cut this into like 45 minutes, we're good.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave that up to your artistic. Hey, what do you think about Retail Arbitrage Radio? That's a lot. RA Radio.
RAR.
I don't know. I hate it. RAR podcast. Retail Arbitrage. All right. If you watch this far, comment below what should we rename the podcast to, and or not. Maybe we just keep it what it is. I don't know. I like the current name.
Cody's a dreamer. He likes to change his mind. It's fine.
Yeah, I change my mind every 6 hours on something. Yeah, no, that's yeah. I don't know if dreamer's the right word.
Indecisive? I was trying to be nice, but
there's probably a bigger market here than just Walmart sellers.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't know. That's why I changed my name on Instagram. Like I was like, I need to get. Like, I don't want to just be a
just
small.
Known for the Walmart Walmart stuff.
Yeah, like there's other things. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep thinking about that. We'll take a look.
Cool. Quit your job. So thanks for watching. This I don't know. Like, share, subscribe, do stuff. I don't care.
Smash
Bye.
that like button.
Yeah.